Hi everyone, welcome to another episode. I'm super excited today to share part of a conversation I had with Deidre. Deidre and I met during Mary Poppins, and we have a lot to talk about in terms of body image as well as comparing yourself to others and all that fun insecurity stuff. So we talked for almost 50 minutes when we were together. So unfortunately, I cannot put that entire episode up, and she has so many good nuggets of information. So I will be dividing this conversation into 3 separate episodes. So this is just the first one. So stay tuned for the next 2, and I hope you enjoy this first part. So this is Deidre.
Hi.
She is also singer, actor, dancer in the Twin Cities. So tell me a little bit about yourself, or tell them a little bit about yourself.
Well, I moved here in 2016, actually, in September, from Georgia, because I was looking for a new, arts city to, be a part of, all that good stuff. And I heard really amazing things about the Twin Cities, so I was like, I'm gonna come up here and be a part of that. And I've really loved it so far. My experiences here, the arts community is amazing.
It really is.
Yeah, it's so good. But yeah, I started performing when I was in middle school, I guess, is when I was really like, I want to do this forever. So yeah, I did that, and then I, went to college for it, got my BA in theater, all that good stuff.
Where did you go to school?
I went to Brunel University.
Okay.
It's like a women's college. It's up in Northeast Georgia.
Cool.
It's awesome. I loved it. Yeah, the Gainesville Theater Alliance was our theater program there and everything.
Nice.
So yeah,
Cool.
I loved it. It was so great.
Rockin'. Never know how to talk, at least. I'm really bad at this.
I was like, should I look at you?
I know. It's confusing. But you're doing a great job so far.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So the main reason I wanted to have Deidre on is that I feel like you're such an advocate for people, women of all body sizes being in theater. And when we were in Mary Poppins together, and when we were in Poppins, you were talking about this photo shoot that you wanted to do, or that you were doing.
Yes, absolutely.
Tell me a little bit more about that, because that seems like so long ago that I heard about that.
Yeah, I know. It seems like it's been a while. Yeah, I'm actually part of it with Susie Jewell, who you've had on your podcast before.
It's episode
channel.
3 or 4.
Yes, check it
out.
But we're both part of this, it's a body positivity photo project, like you said. And so right now the first thing we're focusing on is plus size bodies as lead roles in theater. So we all have some that were picked out, and right now we're trying to get funds and everything so we can make a really big splash when we present the photos and everything. But yeah, it's just something that we think is really important, is representation of all sizes on stage.
Yeah.
Because it's the same thing as, going to see a movie. When you see someone like you in a movie, it's like that moment where you're like, oh my gosh, it's great. And I think that's so important for theater too. So yeah.
It's funny, I was actually talking to a coworker of mine at the salon, and she's this super fashionable person, and she's very slim, and she's also short. I don't know, she's maybe 5'2", 5'3".
Yeah.
So she's a very small person. We started talking about modeling. I'm not model thin.
Right.
And we were talking about it because I feel that's always very much represented, is that very slender, tall woman. And then I also feel now finally plus size modeling has really taken off with Ashley Graham and all those people.
Yeah.
But I feel it's kind of you see one or the other. And I'd love to see, you were saying with leading ladies in musicals, I'd love to see just every single size.
Yes,
from the very small people to the very, and we were talking about that because she's I'd love to do modeling, but I'm too short. And it's well, why? Why are you too short?
You shouldn't be that person. Those people exist as well, and they want to wear clothes.
Exactly. And it's I want to see those clothes on someone who looks like me, so I know what they would look like on me.
Absolutely, I do feel the middle range is something that gets
we
lost.
get forgotten.
About.
So how did you get involved in this project?
Actually, Susie Jewell was just talking about it. I always have to first and last name her. I don't know why. It's never just Susie. But she was just mentioning it at a rehearsal one day, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'd love to be a part of that, because it's just I'm super into that.
Yeah.
So that was it. And she was like, perfect, I'll add you to the Facebook group. And so
That's so cool.
you know, have been putting together ideas of things you want to do and all that kind of stuff to, like I said, raise funds and get that all put together.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I don't want this to be like, let's talk about, you know, what it's like being a, you know, plus size person in theater.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't want, like, if that's
But,
not
I
how
mean-
you like define yourself, you know what I mean?
Right,
Because,
no,
like,
I mean-
I don't always, so I get that it's a little like weird, but how has that been for you?
Yeah. No, I think it's a totally valid question to ask because it is, I mean, exactly the same thing, like being a person of color too. Like I don't always think of that first, but then there are situations you're in where you're like hyper aware of it.
Yes.
You're like,
Yes.
okay, this is crazy.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's been interesting. It's always this battle because types are a thing that I feel like also inherently includes body shape, you know?
Yes.
So when it's like, you know, I consider myself a character actress. It's what I like to do. It's what I feel like strongest at. But a lot of times, like, if you were to write down a list of people who are like character actors, you'd be like, wow, they're all like plus size women, you know?
Right.
So it's trying to not pigeonhole yourself, but then
Doing what you love as well.
yes,
Yeah.
also that, and like also this weird balance of not wanting to like set yourself up for like weird disappointments or things like that.
Right.
Like, you know, I was recently called back for a role where I was like, huh? I was like, what? I like honestly didn't know what to think or do, and I was like, well, I'm just gonna go do the best that I can. Like, this is awesome, but what is happening?
Right.
So it's so weird that the thing that I keep wanting to happen was like happening, but then I was like, I don't know what to do now. Like, now that we're here, what am I supposed to do? Oh my god.
Right.
So
right.
I feel like people are being more open-minded in the Twin Cities about casting plus-size women, but then at the same time, I feel like I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, like
So-
people say they're open to it, and then
Yeah.
you go to a show and you're like, but like where?
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Huh." And you know, like, people use the phrase like a token this or other, and I'm always like, okay, so it's like, just have your like token curvy person in the show.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I think that's like the hard thing too, is like sometimes if we look too far into it, like especially being women of color too, is being like, okay, am I like the token person of color in this show
Right.
now? And it's like, you don't want to go there. You never want to go there because you want to believe the best in people. But like, sometimes you look around the room and you're like, ooh, it's hard to ignore. It's hard to ignore
Yes,
that. You know what I mean?
absolutely.
It's
And
hard
then-
to ignore.
yeah.
Like, I was at a callback last night and there was like one like curvy person there.
yeah.
There was like one girl there, and like the role she was called back for was like that character kind of role that you often see curvy women in, and you're just kind of like, huh, you know what I
Yes,
mean?
it
And it's
always
like
makes
you
pause.
do become kind of hyper aware of it, and it's like you want to you want to believe that a lot of this is about talent, but it's like not.
I know, and that's where I also get extra freaked out about it because I'm the only person. I'm like, am I even good at what I do? I don't know. Like, it's horrible, but that's the like mindset you get put in sometimes.
sure.
Thinking about it, you're like, okay, well,
I also
Who
think
knows?
it's like really hard to be in the theater and ignore your body. You know?
Yes.
So
Yes.
like, I don't consider myself like a dancer first.
Me neither, girl.
I don't consider myself a dancer second. I probably consider myself like a dancer.
like fifth behind. I don't know what else.
Exactly. But it's that like same kind of world where we're standing in front of mirrors, we're looking at ourselves all the time.
Yeah.
You know, my therapist gets on me because she's like, you work in theater, you work in a salon, like you're constantly this like hyper aware of what you look like your skin, your face, your body, your everything. Like she's like, you need to like get out of that. And it's like
something else.
so much like harder said than done because it's like these are the things that I like love.
Exactly.
But at the same time, it's like, you know, you're standing in front of mirrors all day and it's like you just suddenly become so aware of what your body looks like, and that comparison game sets in, and it's like, how do you like not compare yourself to like
It's
the
so
other
hard.
people in the room, and like you start to think like, you know, not only is this person more talented than I am, or does this person sing better than I do, but this person is also thinner than me, and this person also is prettier than me, or whatever. And I don't know, I feel like that's a conversation that maybe like isn't talked about very much because we never
Yeah.
want to seem like we're comparing ourselves.
Yes, but you can't help it. And like, even because I feel like I've gotten really good at being at that point where it's like, okay, yes, I'm in this room and I can truly tell who are the other people they're considering for this same part, you know, and you look. And I give myself like 30 seconds to be in that place and be like, this, and that. And then I'm like, now I just have to forget it and do what I know that I'm good at and like go past it. It's so hard. Like half time I'm thinking about that more than anything else I'm doing at an audition. It's just like trying to just be like positive about myself. It's hard.
At this callback last night, everyone who was called back was a belter. And I'm not that. And I feel like I shot myself in the foot a little bit because I lost all my confidence so quickly. And that was bullshit. And I shouldn't have done that. But it's like, it's so hard. It's so hard. Like, I wish I was like in a vacuum. And
I wish that too. That's how I felt. I was at a callback yesterday too. And the one who went before me, she's badass. And I was out there and I was like, it's so hard.
It's like, can't they like soundproof these?
Well, I know. I hate it so much. I'm always just like, dang it, she sounds amazing. What am I supposed to do with my life?
And it's like, they could like stagger it so like you didn't have to hear. But it's like, I get it. Like for them, it's like
like they just have to do it. I know, it's so hard. Yeah, the comparison game it's tough. And it's like you said, something that I feel like will happen in like small conversations or like, you know, when you have friends that you're like close to in the theater and you can talk about it. But I feel like it just needs to be like out there. It's like we all do it. You all do it. You can't help it. Like there's no way around it because you're put in that position, you know? Yeah. But
we're like super straying off topic, but I don't care.
It's fine.
I feel like I haven't had like the most successful audition streak recently. And it just gets you like thinking a little more, you know, just like, okay, like what's going on? You know, what's going on with me? What are the things that like I can control and like work on? And what are the things that are like completely out of my control that like I have that like I just have to go in and like do the thing that I do best and hope that something
that they like it.
that I fit with all the other people involved. I mean, that's a lot about it too.
And it is.
I think talking about comparison just in general within the theater community it's something that we never want to say that like we do because we always want to seem like strong people and like independent and like be like, it doesn't bother me, but it like does. It bothers people. I mean, it has to.
It does. And because when you think about it, when you've been like on the other side of the table like directing, I mean, it's just what you have to do. It's like if you have two people that you think are really good for a part, you like literally have to set their things next to each other and be like, okay, this person had this strength, this person had that one, like, you know, and it's never not inherently a bad thing, but it's just, you know, you're putting yourself in a position where you walk in the room and you walk out and you know they're talking about you before and after. It's like, horrible. So bad.
That whole idea of like, okay, you can't control like the size of your feet. You can't control your body size. You can't control how tall or how short you are. It like all goes into it. Yet, those are the things that directors look for. And I think that's like, that can be so challenging. And I feel like performers, we have so many things we can't control. So the one thing that I'll try to control to make myself feel better is my body size. Because we do feel like we can control it, you know? And I think that gets challenging because like being a person who's like now on the other side of like trying to control that so much, like I performed way worse when I was like not the size that my body like wanted to be, you know? And do you feel like you've ever like fallen into a trap of like, I want to be able to control this to make my body look different in order to achieve X, Y, and Z?
I have, and it wasn't so much performing based, it was just like life in general, where I was like, I'll just be happier. And I was like, wow, like,
if I
my body feels good inside, but it was still like not
like, but I still want to like eat this like hamburger instead of like drink a smoothie for dinner.
And so I was like, this is not helping the real problems here. So I was like, forget it.
I love that attitude. That's amazing.
I was like, I don't think this is the thing that I need to be doing right now.
I'm so sorry I had to cut that off, but stay tuned. We'll have 2 more parts where I talk to Deidre about more fun stuff. So have a good week, everyone.